welcome to another episode of In the Know with Sowetan. My name is Sibongonga Shoba. Today, my guest is Helen Zille. She is the DA's mayoral candidate for the city of Johannesburg. Helen, thank you so much for coming to In the Know. Welcome.
It's great to be here with you, Sibonga Konke.
Helen, why are you doing this to yourself at your age? Why are you running for mayor?
I can't think of anything more challenging, more fun. Why not?
But don't you think that it's time to pass the baton to the new generation?
Oh, I would love to, but they must compete with me. They did compete with me.
Okay.
So we had calls for nominations and applications for mayor, and people competed with me, and they do that all over the country in every single metro. Sometimes a young person wins, and then they say, oh, Chris Papas can't be a mayor, he's only 29. What does he know about the world at 29 to be a mayor?
Yes.
And then when I come out successful as the candidate, they say, oh, how can a 74-year-old be the mayoral candidate? Isn't she too old? The answer is no. The point is the DA has rigorous processes. We don't crown people. We don't deploy people. The leadership doesn't pick people. The applications are wide open. Anybody can compete as long as they're prepared to become a DA member and work on a DA program of action. Then they compete. They go through all the tests. It's a grueling process. And the person who comes out the other side is the one who is assessed to be the most appropriate for that particular position that is being adjudicated at that time.
Is this not a vote of no confidence in the leadership of the DA in Gauteng?
Why should it be?
If they can't compete with a 74-year-old.
You know, I've had a lot of jobs in my life, and every single job I've done has prepared me for this role. So it's hard to compete with experience. It really is. And the leader of this province, Solly Msimanga, didn't want to put his hat in the ring to be mayor. So I'm not competing with Solly Msimanga. He was, in fact, on the selection panel that grilled me and that put me through my paces.
So, what are your key things that you're going to do, especially for the black townships like Alex and Sowetan? What are the key things that you are planning to do as soon as you take over?
Well, the thing that you do in local government is what the Constitution requires you to do. One is to deliver clean water to people that they can drink, wash and cook with. The second is to make sure that the electricity is getting to people. Obviously, people have to pay for electricity above the free basic amount that people get through the cross-subsidy. And electricity, refuse removal, cleaning away the rubbish. Obviously, that means also that people mustn't dump rubbish and mustn't throw it all around. But we have to have a partnership with the people. We must remove the refuse. There must be sewage systems working. There must be all of that infrastructure, roads, street lights, traffic lights, all of that infrastructure must work. And that is the singular role of local government, basic service delivery, and that is what we will try to do for everyone, as I say, in partnership. If people are going to vandalize the infrastructure, it is very difficult to find the budget to keep on replacing it. If people are not going to use the bags that are provided to put their refuse in, but instead throw it all around, then it's going to be very hard to keep the place clean. Government is a partnership between the people and those elected to lead them.
Your party is opposed to the broad-based economic empowerment in its current form, and it's also opposed to transformative policies.
We're right in the vanguard of transformative politics. I mean, the biggest transformation for anybody is to get a job. And where the DA governs, there's much more investment and much more job creation. Where the DA governs in Cape Town and the Western Cape, unemployment is 10 percentage points lower. The biggest transformation in a person's life is getting a job. And the DA is the party of that kind of transformation.
Should the black businesses who are doing business with the city of Johannesburg be worried if you come in as mayor?
What people need to understand is that we will run the processes honestly. People have to compete. They have to be able to provide a service at the standard required, at the price that is competitive. That is what we do because that's in the best interests of the residents of Joburg. They don't want to pay 3 times more because there is some kind of policy that only certain people can be contracted. They don't want millions to go to a contractor who then hasn't got the capacity to finish the job, who walks off the job halfway, and then it has to be paid for again. That's how a city goes bankrupt, and that doesn't serve the residents.
So let's say you don't get 50 plus 1 to enough seats to govern. Who are you likely to work with?
Sibonga Konke, you know that in a proportional representation system, it is very rare for a party to get above 50%.
Yes.
In Cape Town, it's an anomaly. We've got over 50% for a very long time. And in the Western Cape, it's very, very rare in proportional representation systems that ever happens. But we can't say who we're going to work with. That we can only say after the election. Obviously, the best case scenario is to win outright. That means to get above 50%. But as I say, that is very, very rare and unlikely. So we have to be at least bigger than the ANC and as big as we can possibly be. And then we look at all the options to create a partnership that takes us over 50%, and we will take the one that is least bad. That is the only yardstick you can use. So we can't say now who's going to get the balance of power until people vote. But we need to aim to be the biggest party.
Helen Mashaba's party did very well in the last local government elections here in this city. Do you think, is he the biggest threat than the ANC?
No, I think he'll lose a lot of votes. I think a lot of people have opened their eyes to the reality of Herman Mashaba and Action South Africa. So I do think that they will lose a lot of votes in this coming election.
What do you think of the incumbent mayor's performance?
Well, Dada Morero, he's a pleasant person. He is. He has a very difficult hand. He has got a staff, an entire administration of redeployed cadres who are under the control of the ANC, and he's not under control of the ANC in the city of Johannesburg. They are all held to account, not for their performance, but for looking after the cadres and the comrades. And it's a jolly difficult job if you can't do it.
Yeah. In some of the interviews that you've done, you've spoken about the fact that the city of Johannesburg pays a lot of money on salaries.
Yes.
What is your answer to that? Are you going to cut jobs, and where are you looking at cutting?
Well, I'm certainly not going to cut jobs at the level of service delivery. I mean, at the frontline service delivery level, that's definitely not where you want to cut jobs. That's where you want to preserve jobs and build jobs. The city of Johannesburg is very top-heavy. They've duplicated across a number of functions. So they've got all the entities, nice places for deployed cadres to go and extract the money, like Eskom and other places. They've got a whole lot of small Escoms as municipal entities covering almost every area of service delivery. And then they duplicate that in the departments in the city. Now that's crazy. And it creates a whole lot of top positions, earning top dollars, who are all doing each other's work and falling over each other. What we have to do is rationalize at the top so that there are not so many people who are trying to manipulate tenders and contracts and earning fat salaries and earning fat fees for attending meetings. I can't believe that the water board sometimes get 100,000 rand per person per meeting. I mean, that's insane. That kind of thing has to stop. But I do not want and will not cut frontline service delivery, the workers who work there. Every time you ask a top manager to cut employment costs, they'll always start cutting the workers. I won't do that. I will say what we need is to keep the frontline services, protect the frontline services, build the frontline services, rationalize all the duplication at the top.
There's a proposal to ring-fence funds meant for water, funds meant for electricity, so that you spend money on those services. Are you in support of that proposal?
100% in support of that proposal. You have to say this job of this administration is basic service delivery. There's no service more basic and more essential to human life and human dignity than water. And we've got to ring-fence the budget for water, for electricity, for all the other utility services, sewerage, all of the others, so that you can maintain the system that exists and expand it very rapidly. That's what has to be done. Now, for some reason, I read in the newspapers that 4 billion rand was moved out of the water budget. They asked the mayor, where did that go to? He doesn't know. I don't understand how a mayor doesn't know what is happening in the budget. Being on top of what's happening in the budget is the most important requirement to be a mayor. You've got to understand the budget, you've got to know it inside out, and no one should be able to move money around without a clear policy directive to do so. And there are processes to do so. So ring-fencing the money for basic service delivery is essential.
Yeah. Residents of Coronationville, residents of Westbury have been without water for a long time. How would you have handled it if you were mayor?
Well, if I'd been the mayor in 2006, which is when I was a mayor in Cape Town, I would have invested in the infrastructure. You have to maintain infrastructure. You can't let infrastructure decay over 30 years and then wonder why you can't get water to people. The people in Westbury and Coronationville in that area, they rely on the Hurst Hill Reservoir, right? There's plenty of water in the Vaal Dam. The heavens have given Joburg plenty of water. God has been good to Joburg, especially with respect to water. But they can't fill the dam. Why? Because a third of the way up is a big crack, because it hasn't been maintained. Now they take the water, they fill it up a third of the way, people have some water during some part of the day, then there's no water left, dololo. So the critical thing is to get that repaired. Now you can't suddenly be delivering water when the infrastructure is so broken. We're going to have a maintenance plan, but then you've got to have the water tankers there. And of course, the tenderpreneurs who are responsible for the water tankers are sometimes accused of actually sabotaging the water infrastructure, so the city will have to purchase or rent or do whatever they have to water tankers from them. Now, this is the most cynical and disgusting thing I've ever heard, that people want to make money from service delivery failure, and then they deliberately sabotage the infrastructure to cause the service to fail so they can make money out of it. Anybody who does that is, for me, the lowest form of life. They benefit from other people's misery.
The DA has run this city before. You had Helen Mashaba as mayor, then you had Dr. Palazzi. What's going to change? What's new are you bringing? Because during that time, things remain the same. What are you going to bring now?
Well, the critical thing that will be fundamentally different is that we won't do it together with the EFF. In 2016, Herman Mashaba did a deal with the EFF to vote him in to being the mayor. Everyone in the DA knows I was dead opposed to that. I said this is the kiss of death. Because if you rely on the EFF to put you in power, you're going to have to rely on the EFF to keep you in power. And then the EFF is not going to do that for free, for nothing. They're going to demand their pound of flesh. And when you're in office and you want to stay in office, you're going to be feeding that crocodile all the time. And that crocodile will never get full. And that is exactly what happened. Herman had to spend more and more time with the EFF caucus. He had to turn a blind eye to the things that the EFF caucus wanted to happen, be it land invasions, be it access to the key jobs in the administration who had control over the tender-rich portfolios. That was a fatal mistake. And in the end, the DA caucus realized that they had lost their mayor. The mayor was serving the EFF's demands more than the DA's demands. And then Herman started inventing all kinds of rationalizations. But the truth is, when the ANC wanted to do a vote of no confidence in Herman Mashaba, many people in the DA said to me they were going to vote with the vote of no confidence in a secret ballot because Herman had abandoned them.
So you are ruling out the possibility of working with the EFF on this?
Yes, so that I can tell you. I would never work with the EFF because we believe in fundamentally different things. I mean, you can't work with people that you fundamentally disagree with. We in the DA believe in democracy. We believe in non-racialism. The EFF doesn't believe in democracy. The EFF doesn't believe in constitutionalism. They believe the leader should control the party should control the state should control the economy and society. That's a recipe for disaster anywhere in the world that it's been tried. It is a totalitarian system, and it's exactly the opposite of what the DA believes. The DA believes that leaders are accountable to the people, leaders must serve the people, they can be taken out of power by the people, and that you need maximized freedom in the economy and in society to enable growth and jobs. That's what we believe. And it's exactly the opposite of what the EFF believes. How can we govern together?
Are you going to then resign from your position now, the federal chairperson?
Yes, I am going to resign from the federal chairperson, yes.
So who's likely to replace you?
Who knows? In the DA, we don't crown people. We don't pick the winners. People will put their name in the hat. They will compete. and the candidate that gets elected will be my successor.
Thank you so much for your time, Helen. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate it.
It's been such a pleasure to be with you. I thought you were going to have a bit of a boxing match.
No boxing match.
You're too nice, Sibonga Konke.
That's it. That's our episode for today. Please do tune in next time. Please visit our website, www.sowetanlive.co.za. Catch us on our YouTube page and our Instagram pages and also on TikTok. My name is Sibonga Shoba. Thank you.